lesson, and for grade 9 ICT reading we are going to start on page 22 today. The title of this lesson is Electronic Spreadsheets. If you turn to page 22, in the opening, under the opening title, it says this chapter will cover the following: what spreadsheets are, special features of a spreadsheet, and there are a few items listed: workbook, worksheets, cells, columns, rows. Next one is number boxes, and then we have functions, formulas, and then data selection and graphs. Okay, so under 2.1 there is a description about spreadsheets. What are spreadsheets? A spreadsheet means an electronic version of the paper-based accounting sheets used by accountants in the past. An electronic spreadsheet is an interactive computer application for organization, analysis, and storage of data in tabular form. Data are entered in cells of a table, and the spreadsheet provides the facility of functions, formulas, sorting, and charting. In electronic spreadsheets, workbooks can be used for document creation. A workbook may contain multiple worksheets. Okay, so a spreadsheet means an electronic version of the paper-based accounting sheet used by accountants in the past. Long ago, accountants used to have large books which they used to write down accounting information. So the spreadsheet basically is the electronic version of what started out as a paper-based accounting sheet. These spreadsheets are interactive computer applications for organization, analysis, and storage of data in a tabular form. That means that you can organize and store and analyze information or data in a tabular form. Data is entered in cells of a table, and the spreadsheet provides the facility of functions, formulas, sorting, and charting. So when you enter data onto a spreadsheet, that particular application, computer application, will give you the facility, functions and formulas, sorting and charting, which you can do to use that data in a better way. And basically electronic spreadsheets file may contain a workbook, and each workbook may contain multiple worksheets. So before we go further, I would like you to access the Wikipedia information page on spreadsheets. It will give you the history of spreadsheets, how spreadsheets began and how they evolved over the years. So not so much as homework, but for you to get a better understanding, I would like you to access this particular page about spreadsheet and go through it. There might be some things that you do not understand, but that's fine. Just look at it, look at uh, the various spreadsheets that are out there. The discontinued ones are not very relevant, but it's good to know that they have been around for some time, and take the time, if you can, to read through this. It'll be some additional information for you to start out going through this lesson. And for this lesson, I'm using the online version of Microsoft Office Home and using the Excel online version to show you about various aspects of spreadsheets. This is a free version. Anyone can get this as long as you're online. All you have to do is go to www.office.com, sign up or sign in with one of the Microsoft accounts. If you don't have one, you can create one, and then this would be your home page. So you could access most of the Office Suite applications through this home page. Right, so back to the lesson. I hope this introduction part to spreadsheets is clear. Basically, it talks about what spreadsheets are and what you can do to the information or data that you enter into a spreadsheet. So we go to the subtopic 2.2, Spreadsheet Features. Let us learn about the functions provided in Spreadsheet package. So we are going to start out with the functions. So there is a box titled Common Tools, and then we have a list of icons and what they do. So the first icon is New, to create a new workbook. So you can see a blank page with the top sort of slightly turned, and that is to start or create a new workbook. So if we go to the online application, here you cannot see it, but if you go to File and you click on New, that is what you have. And I get this blank worksheet by pressing blank workbook. Going back to the book, we have the option to save, and that is one of the earlier disks. So if we look at the Excel online version again, you can't see it, but don't worry, it's there. Under File, it says Save As, so you can save it under some particular name, but note that on the online version of Office, your work is saved automatically, so there's no reason to go and click on that. Then we have Open Save document that has a small file which is slightly opened in the shape of a V. If we look at the online version again, we do not have that. However, in the main page, if we click Excel, it would list the files that are there, or it would give you the option to upload and open. So that means if let's say you have an Excel sheet that someone shared with you, that option would be available for you to upload that file or drag and drop it here and to open it. So the next item, two items are print preview and print. Now in the normal desktop application you will have these icons, but here on the online version that I'm going to be using, some of those functions are not clearly visible. Now say for example file, we go to print and then it says show printer friendly view. So that is, if I click that, almost all of the options that I get on the desktop application are available here. You can see the type of printing options available. So these are in general the same icons that you will find in most of the desktop applications used for spreadsheets, editing documents, things like that. So these are standard tools. Then we go to some other options. So the undo, basically if you do something, let's say that you typed out a number and you want to undo it. So what happens is, now let's say you type out test on the Excel sheet and then you go to the next tab, type out another word. I'm going to type out run. Now you can see the undo option appear after I started working. So if I click undo, see the second word that I wrote disappears, and the second item here is redo. Now to do any undo action again, so basically if you took a step back and undid something and you want to redo it, it's this icon. See, then the run word comes back. But if I do undo twice, and then it would clear the sheet because I did two steps, two actions, and I took those back using undo. Copy. Copy is used to copy letters, images, etc. Now let's say I type something like test run. Now that is what I have written here. Now if I go to copy, see this is the icon and you can see it's almost similar to the one in the reading book. If I say copy, you can see that the cell, the border of the cell starts animating. You can see it running around, and then I click somewhere else, then we go to the next item, which is cut. I'll leave this for the moment, and it says the one after that is paste. So what I do is I go and paste. well, that didn't work out. Let's see, copy and paste. Oh, sorry, I'm not pasting, I'm doing something else. Copy, go to this option and press paste, and there you have the same thing copied and pasted. Now let me undo that, and I'll undo the we have the word there again, and then we come to cut to remove an item from the current location. So I go to the cell where I have written the text, I say cut. You can see that the text becomes opaque. It becomes sort of like transparent, and then when you go to another cell and say paste, it is cut and moved to a new location. So that's how those functions work. I'm sorry about earlier about using this. Sometimes you don't see what's right in front of you. So those are those sections, and then we have spelling. Now let's say I delete this and I type out a sentence like I am talking about spreadsheets, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to write spreadsheets incorrectly. Okay, so now this is what I wrote. Now what we have to do is we have to look at the spelling function. So in the new Microsoft Office, you have ribbons right on top which correspond to the title of the ribbon now. So if we are to go for the spell checker, it should be under review. See, the first item under review is spelling. So I'm going to click spelling. The letter I wrote it in simple. So the first item to get highlighted under spelling is I. They suggest I click it and it corrects the letter in the text that I typed out. And then spreadsheets is highlighted with an underline in red, and then we have the suggestions. So I'm just going to say spreadsheets here, so I click the first one and it says spell check complete. So this is how the spell check works. Let us go back to the reading book again. So basically the spelling tool is very important because whatever you do, you need to maintain a good or correct form of text in your documents, even in spreadsheets, because if you're especially going to share it with somebody, you have to pay attention to the spelling that you're going to be doing. And this tool is really very important. Moving on, we come to the next page, and the title of the box in this page is Special Features of a Spreadsheet. So we are going to learn a bit about how spreadsheets are laid out either on the application or on online versions. There are so many out there, but because of similarities, I'm using the Office Online spreadsheet to show you these today. The name box displays the current selected cell. So here we are on cell A1, and that is the cell address which we have selected. Now if I move it to B1, you can see that the cell address changes to B1, and like that if I move to C1, it changes. If I click on some random cell which appears on my screen, we immediately know that it is column N, row 9. So then we have columns. Within bracket it says has a label beginning with a letter in the English alphabet. Okay, so these are all columns, and these go on till XFD. So you can just imagine how long this spreadsheet is. You can't in practice have such a long spreadsheet. Then we have the formula bar, shows what is being typed in a cell. Now this is the formula bar. Whatever I type here, my name. If I type my name, the formula bar will indicate that. If I type 2020, the formula bar will indicate that. The formula bar shows whatever information is in that cell. Now what happens if I type something like this? Now I wrote the number 20 multiple times, and the number that I entered isn't visible in the cell, so that's why it shows this hash mark repeatedly. But if you look at the cell formula here, it shows the actual number. That's something to keep in mind. And then we have rows, has a label starting with number 1. Now on any spreadsheet, be it online or an application, now this will be the same. Rows will start at 1 and go down. Now in this particular one, there are so many rows there. Then we come back to the top. So the next one is a cell range. Range of selected cells in close proximity. So if I click on one cell and drag the pointer like this. Now that is a cell range. A cell is an intersection between a row and a column is the cell. The row letter and the column number is collectively called the cell address. The highlighted cell's address is G7. So we spoke about this earlier. If we click on a random cell on the spreadsheet, that cell address appears here in the name box, and we can see that it is column K, cell 7 immediately. So that is a cell. So at this point I'm going to end the lesson for today. I hope you are able to take a brief look at what or how spreadsheets are identified or explained in Wikipedia. It will be useful to know, and I hope to post the next lesson very soon. And until then, stay safe. Bye for now.